Then simply press the button, and Pavlok releases a mild electric sensation that helps you reduce cravings. You can laugh, but it's actually something very serious.
I am laughing.
An immediate, unforgettable reaction from sharks. But what was that for? This is the story of the Shark Tank's most controversial pitch, and what happened next. This is Manish Sethi, a guy who turned frustration with his own struggles into a mission to help others break bad habits. From a young age, Manish was known as the smart kid who just couldn't focus. Teachers would tell him, "You're brilliant. If only you'd stop talking and do your homework." But focus was a battle for him. In college, he was diagnosed with ADHD. It was a label that shook him. How could someone with a disorder get into Stanford? Was he a fraud waiting to be exposed? Rather than letting it define him, Manish dug deep into understanding human behavior. He studied science, technology, and society at Stanford, blending psychology, marketing, and computer science. He was inspired by BJ Fogg and even got to learn directly in Fogg's lab. Manish started hacking his own habits. One famous experiment was hiring a stranger on Craigslist to slap him in the face every time he procrastinated. The result was that his productivity skyrocketed. That wild story kicked off a blog called Hack the System, where Manish shared his journey to self-improvement. Determined to build a device that could help others break bad habits, Manish launched Pavlok on Indiegogo in 2014. The campaign raised over $284,000 from more than 1,700 backers, proof that there was real demand for his behavior change wearable. Nail biters, oversleepers, and binge eaters were seeing results. But Manish's story isn't just about wins. He's used to being told no and flipping that into fuel to prove doubters wrong. He intentionally surrounds himself with skeptics because when people doubt him, it lights a fire under him to push harder. Before Shark Tank, Pavlok was already profitable, with $800,000 in revenue and thousands of users. Manish didn't need money, he needed a partner to help scale. Going on the show was about finding the right people to grow the company faster. And then came Shark Tank, the big moment Manish had been preparing for and dodging for 2 years. Twice before, the show had called him, but he turned them down. The third time, he was ready. Walking onto that stage, he believed in his product and in himself. He had millions in pre-orders, a polished prototype, and a clear vision. Surely, the sharks would see what he saw, but the reality was different. On Shark Tank, Manish Sethi delivered one of the most unusual and unforgettable pitches in the show's history.
Hi Sharks, my name is Manish Sethi and I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. And I'm seeking $500,000 in exchange for 3.14% of my company.
Manish began by addressing a universal truth. Everyone has bad habits, whether it's biting nails, overeating, or hitting snooze repeatedly. His solution was a wearable device that uses a mild electric zap to condition users to break those habits through aversive conditioning. The presentation quickly turned entertaining and chaotic as he presented his model.
Reduce cravings. You can laugh, but it's actually something very serious.
I am laughing.
It's just a little pulse.
Yeah, so I set it low for you because I didn't want everybody to get scared.
Can you
What
set
is
it
your
higher?
price on?
Yeah, I'll do it right now. All right.
Oh.
Ow!
While the sharks cringed, Manish cited that over 50% of users broke their habits in less than 5 days. But sharks didn't like his idea, and the conversation turned chaotic.
Therapy.
Yeah, so
Aversion therapy
we're
works.
bringing aversion therapy to
You're
consumers.
using
But
other
there's,
people's
so there's
studies.
nothing that's
Mark,
actually
we know you're the
happening.
smartest guy in the
This
room.
is-
Despite his energy, the sharks took issue with his lack of original clinical trials, the high $200 device price, and the steep $16 million valuation. Mark Cuban and Barbara Corcoran called him out for using studies that were not conducted with Pavlok itself.
Aversion therapy is legit. But what's not legit is trying to take credit for other studies and apply it to your product.
I didn't. I gave you an evidence booklet with all the citations, sir.
One by one, the sharks bowed out, citing skepticism, poor proof, and an exhausting pitch delivery.
That this isn't based on anything that you've done.
Right. Are you
So
negotiating?
Okay, so we have had
Where
six
are your
advisors.
studies?
Now-
Where is your proof of this? What study do you have? You should be doing clinical trials.
Even Lori rejected his pitch.
Say things are either heroes or zeros. For me, this is a nowhere near-o. I'm out.
However, Kevin O'Leary saw potential, not in the valuation, but in the product's concept. He offered the $500,000 as a loan at 7.5% interest over 24 months, in exchange for the 3.14% equity Manish originally offered.
To make money, I worked on a rhesus study that used the same technology that modified
How many
behavior.
other degrees, right?
And I'm telling you the truth here, so I'm interested.
It was a structured way to mitigate risk while still participating in the upside if Pavlok succeeded. Manish turned down the offer, unwilling to give up equity under those terms, and it quickly became controversial with Mr. Wonderful kicking him out.
I would take an offer from anybody besides Mr. Wonderful.
Manish, you're a get the out of here.
Oh!
The pitch ended with 4 sharks out and 1 offer rejected.
I have a tinge of regret for rejecting the deal with Mr. Wonderful, but the truth is, our company is building something much bigger than just money. We're trying to change human behavior.
Overnight, 38 one-star Amazon reviews flooded in, tanking his product rating from 4.9 to 2.9. Sales nosedived with a sudden loss of customer trust. But the worst part was the aftermath.
I started getting death threats, like a lot of them, like people calling my phone and threatening to kill my parents with their address. It was really bad.
Yet Manish calls it his most accomplished no. That failure became his greatest teacher. Every rejection, every setback pushed him to grow. If success had come too easily, he might have never discovered what he was truly capable of. He urges anyone listening to understand something vital. You are not broken if you can't finish something. Change isn't always a solo act, and you're not designed to go it alone. 9 months after the show aired, Pavlok had 10,000 new users, upgraded tech that buzzed your wrist to break bad habits, and a Chrome extension that blocked time-wasting websites. Investors like Inkwell and Mass Challenge jumped in, and an Indiegogo campaign for the shot clock raised $343,000. Today, Pavlok's still in business. Their lineup has expanded to include Shot Clock Max, the Pavlok Smart Ring, and a community-driven subscription program called the Pavlok Challenge. Over 250,000 users worldwide have joined the movement, and while they may not be shark-backed, they've been featured on The Doctors, CBS, ABC, and even got nods from Damon John and Richard Branson. Even though Pavlok hasn't reached the valuation SETI once pitched to the sharks, the company has focused less on maximizing revenue and more on maximizing transformation. As SETI once said in an interview, "I want 100% of the people who come into our ecosystem who say, 'I will achieve this goal,' to have a 100% chance of success." One of the company's larger ambitions is to change 10 million habits in 10 years, which underscores their deep-rooted commitment to behavior change over big profit.